What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Tech and Tactical. I've got something pretty cool here today. I've had my eye on these Kershaw Launch series. They released, I think it was last year. I think it was 2017. I could be wrong though. These are not that old. This is a relatively new series for Kershaw. These autos, these launch autos, are come in a few different variants. This one is the tiny one that you can get. These are, I guess, the idea California legal. They're under 2 inches, or the blade's under 2 inches. I normally do the side by sides later in the video, but just for a comparison, there's a link. So you can see how tiny the Launch 4 is. Super tiny little knife. I think, as I said, the idea it being legal in more places, that's pretty cool, I guess. So if you're into that, I think that the problem is it leads, because these launch autos are so powerful, the way that they come out, this thing is kind of, I'm not going to say it's hard to use, but it's, for me, this thing is it's just very tiny. I do like it, but it's very, very tiny. But I guess that's the idea, you're getting this so you can have a tiny little like box cutter knife, if that's what you're into or that's what you want. But I do really like these because it's CPM 154, which is a really great steel. So Kershaw stepped up on this one. They've been doing some really great steels lately. Like this Link, is the M390 variant. If you want to see a review, go back on the channel. I do believe I have one on that. If not, one's coming up. But this Launch 4 is really cool. They've been putting better steels in their knives, which is great. They've been making these American knives that are really great. There's a little flag. It does say USA on the blade as well, like you may have seen a minute ago. But yeah, great little USA made Kershaw. So let's do some specs like I like to do. Let's break out the ruler. So you can see how tiny this thing is. From my measurement, it looks just over 5 inches. Let me see here. On the spec sheet, it is 5.1. So just over 5 inches overall length. Cutting edge is, or the blade length anyway, which basically is the cutting edge. It goes all really back to the handle. There's no sharpening choil, unfortunately. That's where we're at. And it says blade length 1.9 inches. So that's kind of the idea there. Let's grab the scale. And we are on grams. There's ounces. 1.98. It is really, really light. Really tiny little light knife. So if that's what you want, this is certainly a good choice. Now, I've seen these. Let's talk about price for a second. I want to say these were like $90 when they came out, and then I've seen them go down to like 75 and 80, but I saw these most recently for like 65 on sale, and I think they're worth it at 65. In my opinion, I think that this is a great little bargain for $65. If you want a tiny little knife, this is a great little bargain. If you are looking for something more substantial, I think the Launch 1 is really cool. I think it reminds me, the lines remind me kind of the Link. So if you want something that's a little nicer maybe than the Link, this particular Link is great, but if you want something nicer than the regular standard Link, and you want to break into this Launch series, then maybe look at the Launch 1. But where were we? Okay, so let's talk about, like I said, the steel's 150 or CPM 154, which is like a better version of 154 CM. This is a particle metallurgy version. So really great steel, really cool little knife, legal almost everywhere. I guess it is still automatic, so the state depending or city depending sometimes. It's insane in my opinion that this type of thing could possibly be illegal when 8-inch kitchen knives are legal, which is actually dangerous, and this is, the box cutter. But anyway, I think these are like maybe the small. This probably is the smallest knife that I own. I mean, it is the smallest knife that I own. I do have a neck knife that might be close. You guys probably saw the review for the CRKT Minimalist. I believe, yeah, the Minimalist. I have the Bowie version. That's a tiny little knife. This is actually not even a three-finger knife. You know, when we say three-finger knives, of course, we kind of mean four, because that includes your thumb. But when I'm cutting with this, it's like a two-finger knife. The way that I pinch grip this thing. You know, this isn't even a three-finger knife for me. So very, very tiny. But I do think it's cool. I keep ragging on it for being tiny, but I do like it. And if that's the point, you know, if that's what you're looking for, then this would be a total go. You know what I mean? So, all right, where are we? Let's do some. I know I broke them out already, but let's do some comparison side by side so you guys can see. Remember, the camera is tilted, so the closer the knife is to the camera, it is going to look bigger. But here, let me go back and forth so you can tell what I mean. So you see what I mean. But anyway, definitely much smaller than a full-size knife like a Mannix. Here's a full-size Freak. You guys have seen reviews on these. If you haven't seen the update on this one, I am sending it back to see what the Life Sharp, you know, how that goes. I've always been interested in how they do with the resharpening. Fit and finish on this is really good. You know, it's put together very, very well. It's a very solid little knife. There's your little lock, your little plunge right there. So, you know, you press it down, and then once it opens up the whole way, it'll pop up and lock the knife, and it does the same thing, obviously, when you close it. You know, same concept. Fires out. You know, really great. Let's look at centering. It's like perfect. Like, it's literally perfect. Pocket clip, I don't get it. This is like the biggest damn pocket clip they make. I mean, maybe they make a bigger one. I'm sure somebody will correct me, but where's the link? I mean, they could have, you know, even that one's smaller. You know what I mean? Why would they have put such a large... look at this one. Look at the Brawler. Look how tiny that Brawler. Like, why did they put the biggest pocket clip that they have on the smallest knife? Like, this knife should have a smaller pocket clip. Obviously, you can't have this one, you know, because of the way it's designed. But it could have this one. Maybe I'll just try to put that one on there. I don't know. I might actually try to do that. I'll update you guys if it works. Sorry I keep bumping into the camera tonight. But, yeah, fit and finish is great. I think for 70 or under, this is a great buy. Pros and cons, it's all pros except for the size for me. And that's, of course, just, you know, totally opinion. You know, I like carrying, like, the bigger knives. Like, I have the full-size Freak. I have the, you know, like the Mannix 2 is probably my favorite knife at the moment anyway. But, yeah, so really all pros. The value's good as long as it's under 70 or around there, maybe at 70. At like $89, like I've seen it, or whatever, maybe it's 92, I can't remember. I think it's a little high. I mean, it is CPM 154 though, so, you know, you pick your, there's the blade shape. You got a high swedge. It's one of these ones, though, the Kershaw does where it's thicker up here, so the swedge kind of loses its functionality, in my opinion. But it does keep the strength. The stonewash is very good. The grind is very even on both sides. So, yeah, really great little knife. Thanks for coming to another episode of Tech and Tactical. I'll put a link below, a link to the Launch 4 below, so if you guys are interested in getting one. But, you know, I would give it a rating, but I just have not had this knife very long. I'm going to have it long enough probably to do a full review. You know, this, of course, is a quick look. You know, one of my tabletop reviews. I like doing these because when I'm looking for knives, you know, I want to see the thing up close, like, you know, so I used to watch these really close-up, high-quality YouTube videos. That's why I do them in 4K, too. But thanks for coming. Later on.